Hello, thanks for tuning in again. We're going to move on with our river bugs. I'm going to add a few more bits and bobs of material to the flies. And what we've got in the vise at the moment is a Hanak 330 barbless hook in size 12. It's a little bigger than I would usually tie this fly, but it will work well for the demonstration purposes. The thread I'm going to be using is UTC, and it is the 70 denier. So the thinner of the sort of two flavours that you get. It's quite a flat thread. It's really good for bodying if you're going to use it for buzzers, and for this nymph that I'm tying now it's perfect. So first thing I'm going to do is just lay a little bit of wax onto my thread. I'll reel that back on, and I'm going to catch it in behind the bead. And like we did the last time with a scruffy bug, I'm just going to build up a little on-ramp, if you like, up to the bead. So once it's started, it takes a little while to do. Just while I'm doing this, I don't always use tungsten beads, but I do find it's the most efficient way of getting weight onto your fly. You can get them for loads of places. The one I've got on at the minute is a hot orange. It's from Funky Fly Tying, and they do a huge range of beads. There's other manufacturers, of course, but the one I've got in the vise at the moment is from Funky. I'm just going to snip away my tail end now. Now for this particular fly, we're going to add a tail and a rib. So the first thing I want to do is add my ribbon, and what I'm using is some very fine wire, and it's red. Now it's basically for peregrine nymphs, this, but I use it for ribbon. So I'll just straighten it out a bit. I'm going to tuck it in all the way up to my bead. And there's a good reason for this, which I'll explain in a moment. Just get it to sit right. And then I can carry on with my thread. I'm going to take it back to about there. So again, as we've done in the past, probably just beyond where the barb would sit. As this is a curved pupa hook, I just like to bring it slightly further back. Okay, next thing then, for the tail, I am going to use a feather called Coq de Leon. It's a very fine feather, and it generates quite a bit of movement. I don't need a lot of it, so I'm going to select just 2 or 3 fibres from the tail. I'm going to lay that on, and I want it to be about 1/4 of the length of the body. So I've caught that in. I'll just stop there for a second and have a look. That's a wee bit long, so I'm just going to pinch it up a little bit, and that's perfect now. One. Okay. Next, I just want to get a nice flat body all the way up the fly. Once I've come so far up, I can trim away this waist. Just move my finger out of the way, and I can start to work on making my body. Now with the Beavis threads, they're the same, they're multi-core, so you can split these threads if you want to, but what I like about the UTC is it just sits really flat. If I want a flat body, I just spin my bobbin anti-clockwise, and I get a nice flat finish on my thread. And what I'm aiming to do here is just get a nice taper from the thorax of the fly down to the tail end. And that's looking really good, pleased with that. And I'll just leave my thread there. So next I want to bring my rib up, and I'm going to come in the opposite direction. This is a good habit to get into. So if you've wound on with your thread away from yourself, the next material, whether it be a rib or whatever, comes towards you. Try and keep nice, evenly spaced open turns, and bring that right up to the head, and then you can catch that in with your thread. 2 or 3 turns, again keeping tension on the thread, simply twist it away. Okay, I'm just going to have a look, see how that looks. Yeah, happy enough with that. So next, I'm going to just move my hook in the vise slightly, because I'm now going to do all my work on this part of the fly here, just behind the bead. And I'm going to put a little dubbing collar on. Now sometimes I would put a hot collar on, or I would use a dubbing like pink or purple, something to give it a bit of flash, but obviously I've got my colour and my attractive flash in my bead here. So I'm going to use some of this. Here's my stubbing. It's golden brown from Nature Spirit. I've already taken a little pinch off. Now you don't need much, this is far too much that I've got in my hands here, so I'm just going to take a little bit at a time in my fingers. I find with little bugs like this, less is more. So let's just dub that on, nice and gently. You don't want it too hardly dubbed, sorry, too firmly dubbed should I say. So I'm going to bring it over, and I'm going to come back maybe 1/8 of an inch, and I'll just carry on behind the bead. Then to finish up, all I'm going to do is put a little bit of super glue on my thread. I'm going to pull everything back that I can, make sure that super glue is bedded down there. Then I can come in with my whip finish tool, if I owned one, and finish off. I'm just going to do a couple of half hitches. And then you can take that away. And if you like, you can come in with your dubbing brush and just tease out a few fibres. And there we go, a perfectly serviceable nymph for the river. Thanks very much for watching. The thread I'm going to be using is a U2 Sutu